Hi there, I'm Paulie Skaja, Agile Coach, Mindset Muse, and the founder of the Agile Mindset Mastery Program. We've been talking a lot about psychological safety, emotional intelligence, building trust, and some of those foundational components that go into having an agile mindset. I just want to take us back to the basics for a moment, because this series of videos is going to focus on why are companies struggling with their agile transformation? Yep, I'm going to call people out on what I've been seeing over the last decade. So the Agile Manifesto was written in 2001 by a group of guys that got together at Snowbird, Utah. Everybody knows the story. Everybody knows that these were the best of the best, bringing together these really brilliant ideas that we really like when this happens in a project, and we really hate when this stuff happens. We know that if we focus on these types of things, we're going to have better outcomes and we're going to make our customers happier. And we know when we put too much emphasis on this stuff, it all falls apart. And so they came up with what's called the Agile Manifesto. Now, the Agile Manifesto is a set of ideas. It's not something that you follow to the letter. It's not a prescription. It's ideas. It's a framework. In fact, this whole agile thing is nothing more than guardrails, than ideas to consider so that you can bring this new way of doing business to life. We'll talk about that in a few episodes, but today, I want to talk about the manifesto really quickly. Anyone who's in an agile practice or following on an agile transformation journey, you've been introduced to the manifesto. Here it is again. I'm going to read it, so hold on. The Agile Manifesto has 4 key values. Okay, so these are values, not the principles. There's 12 principles. We're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the values. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. People matter. It doesn't matter what the process is. It doesn't matter what the tools are, as long as the people are talking, as long as the people are the center. Individuals and interactions. Did I get that story in Jira correctly? Did you get it in Excel correctly? Who cares? Is it on the Post-it note correctly? Is there shared understanding of what the work is or what the desired outcome is? Have people talked? Have you, instead of had a string of 10 emails back and forth, actually picked up the phone and said, let's talk about this and let's bring the right people together so that we make sure we're all on the same page working towards the same goal? Processes are important. People need to know how to follow steps to achieve an outcome. In fact, I'm working with a group right now where they have no intake process. So it's causing a lot of dysfunction. So we're looking at what makes sense. Let's document the steps that make sense. Let's try it. Let's experiment. And then let's refine it. Let's reflect on how did that go? What can we improve? How can we lean this out? How can we get better? Individuals and interactions can help continuously improve our processes. Are we using the right tools? Do we have to worry about getting everything into Jira right away, or into Azure, or into whatever the tool of the day is? Seriously, most of the work I do and have done for decades is on Post-it notes and Excel spreadsheets. I use PowerPoint instead of worrying about a Visio document. It doesn't matter because the outcome is helping people understand. The second value, working software, or I like to say working outcomes over comprehensive documentation. So traditionally people would spend months creating 100-page documents on all the requirements, and inevitably something would get missed, It was all about how can we spend the money we got approved? Let's pack everything into it because we don't want to have to come back for more money. And then we create these widgets that nobody uses. But we thought they were really cool ideas, but we never got feedback. And the product might be bad when we released it because the people building the product and the people validating the quality of the product weren't actually working together. They were working in silos. That causes a problem. And so we need to make sure people are working together to understand what needs to be built, what are the top priorities, and it might be, what are the top priorities for this marketing campaign, for the PR that needs to go out? How do we contain the message and help drive the outcome? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so it's not about documenting, making sure all the requirements are ticked and tied, having all the details. And it's less about trying to predict and more about documenting what's needed. What did we really do? And making sure that that matches. Here's what we delivered, and here's the documentation to show we delivered it and validated it. Higher quality outcome of the right stuff that your customers want, that your clients can use, that your employees can hold on to. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. We negotiate when we do, you bring in a vendor. It's this period of time for this much money to get this kind of outcome. What happens if things change? Are you still going to hold them accountable, or are you going to negotiate? It needs to be positive for both sides. The other piece is we think we can do this, and it's going to take this much time, and it's going to cost this much money, and we need this many people. And then we learn something, and we have to pivot, and now we have a change request. And that's a form of contract negotiation. We need to bring in a consultant, and we want that consultant to do this. But what happens if your consultant uncovers all kinds of things that you could have an opportunity to work on? And what if that person has the skill set to help you? Do you just hold them to their contract? Or do you talk about new opportunities? And that's that piece of collaboration. Everybody's each other's customer. It's not just the person buying the product at the end, but it's I'm serving you as my teammates. I'm serving my stakeholders. I'm serving the leadership. I'm serving the people who are keeping the business running. I'm helping provide a service that lends itself to the bottom line. Oh, and by the way, I'm supporting the people who pay for our products. We all are in service to each other. And that gets missed a lot. Because we are so used to hierarchies, organizations tend to forget we all need to be in service of each other. And we all need to be collaborating on a regular basis to make progress. And we all need to consider negotiation. It's less of that command and control. I want it this way, do it my way. That's not what I wanted. Instead, step back and look at what people are bringing to the table and how it may actually make things even better. And the last value, responding to change over following a plan. We do that really well. In fact, every year we're given opportunities to respond to change, to pivot. In 2020, lots of opportunity for pivots and a lot of opportunity to get really clear on what matters, to lean out our processes and to start looking at how are we going to move forward? What can we do to be even better? A lot of companies have actually closed or let go of leases. They're saving huge amounts of money on real estate because people can work from home very effectively. And we just need enough real estate to do what we have to do in person. So people who think this agile stuff only works when you're co-located, No, it only works when people are talking, when people are communicating, when people are collaborating, when we have shared understanding, and when we let go of our hierarchical command and control styles. So that's Paulie's perspective on the Agile Manifesto and how I've helped companies bring it to life for over a decade. It's less about following the words to the letter and more about figuring out how does the intent of these values and their associated principles fit with our organization and what we want to achieve. Hang on, we're going to talk a lot more, but hopefully you were able to glean a few tidbits on how to start shifting your mindset as you start to look at the values and what makes sense for your organization. Until next time, I'm Paulie Skaja, Agile Coach, Mindset Muse, and the founder of the Agile Mindset Mastery Program. Take care and be well.